And that will bring us to item number 12, which is our public participation. And I'll tell you that the board welcomes and encourages public participation at each of our meetings. We ask that you adhere to the procedures and decorum provided in Board Policy BEDH, public participation at meetings. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes, and Dr. Harris will be keeping time, give you a rundown on that, and then he has a buzzer that goes off. Questions asked during public participation will be handled in accordance with Board Policy BEDH. And I'll add that from the actual policy itself, that the privilege of addressing the board does not include the ability to make any personal attacks on a board member, district employee, or other member of the public. So with that, I will go to our public participants, and the first one is Ms. Kim Murphy. Ms. Murphy.
Good evening. It goes without saying that we have an outstanding, award-winning school district. However, I am often critical of it. I'm critical because I think we can do a better job in the things that I'm bringing to your attention, mainly financial, how you choose to spend money, taxation, and transparency with the public, and we will be an even better school district. First, I want to say that my comments are in no way reflective on Dr. Melton, whom I greatly respect, and who I think will focus every bit of energy and resource on educating young people. It's not easy standing here tonight, and on most occasions, I feel like the legitimate issues I present, which can be backed up with documents, is totally disregarded, and I feel like board members, instead of addressing the issues, attempt to shoot the messenger, to discredit me. Interesting, tonight's auditor said that they don't look for fraud. But when I suggested that District 5 conduct an in-depth forensic audit, when it could be conducted by a community-based auditing committee at no cost, I felt like I was attacked by some members of the board. I was cut off and interrupted numerous times, chastised for using the word corruption, in the general sense, told that I could not use school board members' names, even though I was quoting a public vote, and I was threatened to be removed by law enforcement. I do not understand the pushback. But some of the folks here tonight received a similar response last year when expressing concerns about the purchase of the property on Amex Ferry Road. Concerned citizens should not be treated in this manner. But I have another issue to discuss. I requested through the Freedom of Information Act the number of students attending each school who don't reside in the attendance area and their classification, i.e. school choice, tuition, out-of-district students, students attending other schools due to enrollment freeze. You are aware of this because you were copied on the communications. I received this report with no problem in previous years. However, after numerous attempts, the district has not provided the information to me. Accurate information is important, especially when new schools and rezoning of students are contemplated. I have seen at times that enrollment numbers are artificially inflated. This year, as an example, Chapin Elementary's enrollment increased by a whopping 113 students. But Lake Murray Elementary's enrollment freeze accounts for 94 of them. So it doesn't necessarily represent the true growth in the attendance area. Chapin High School has been and is scheduled to be a school choice school. When it is experiencing capacity issues, why would you allow this? Are you using artificially inflated enrollment numbers in your studies? Or are you only using students who reside in the school's attendance area? One more question. If you have this information, why is it not being provided to me? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Our next speaker is Mr. Mike Whitehurst. Mr. Whitehurst.
Hey, good evening. So my comments tonight will kind of go along the framework of the superintendent's goals. And I just wanted to give some perspective. I think this is, first of all, I enjoyed reading through these, but the first goal is about world class. And I think I would like to see us continue to be world class. You know, according to a lot of studies, we're about number 507, I think, in the country, which is pretty impressive from a school district standpoint. I would like to see us take that I think we're very positioned to take that next step globally. And so I would like to see programs like the Program for International Student Achievement, which is PISA. And some of this may be at the state level, but I would like for us to continue to investigate that to be measured globally. That's number one. Number two, in the goals is about community involvement, partnership, that type of thing. I always want us to remember that we have unique communities that are inside of District 5. And so we want to make sure that we're always reinforcing diverse opinion, et cetera, and providing equity across the entire district. I think that's important as well. The next goal that I want to talk about is goal number 4, which is really at my heart. My daughter wants to be a teacher. She's going through Midlands, the special ed program right now, actually, at Midlands Tech. You know, it's interesting. I did some research, and since 1970, the federal data across the nation shows that per student expenditures have increased 130%. But teacher pay has only increased 6.4% during that time span, which is alarming. And some of the reasons for that across the nation is because of non-teaching personnel, increase in non-academic mission activities. And I would say this, I'm a parent of a college athlete, okay? But I will tell you this, as you've gone through your assessment and you're looking at your priorities, I would tell you to please put the money, priority 1, close to the student, close to the teacher. That's what I would tell you. The last thing I would say is, I work in the technology business. I work with large universities, large K through 12s across, and my team works across the whole East and Southeast. Big data, analytics, and artificial intelligence. When you look at goal number 5, I would encourage us to continue to invest in those, to make decisions, whether it's where I'm going to put a school, learning outcomes, whatever that may be, is very important in regards to this as well. So I just want to share that perspective tonight, and I appreciate the opportunity to do so.
Thank you, Mr. Whitehurst. That concludes our public participation, but I have a statement that I would like to read in conjunction with public participation. And it reads, and I'm going to put this on the record. During our last board meeting, a member of the public made a statement asserting that the board had condemned land that is part of the district's Derrick Pond Road property. Because I believe that that statement misrepresented the facts, the following explanation is offered to clarify the record. In 2010, District 5 purchased approximately 45 acres on Mount Vernon Church Road and Derrick Pond Roads. A 2.67 acre parcel known as Parcel E was included in the land the seller agreed to sell to the district. During the district's due diligence, our attorneys discovered a discrepancy in old plats that cast some doubt on the seller's claim to title of Parcel E. The parties discussed possible ways to resolve the issue so that the purchase could be completed. Several alternatives were discussed. These included the options of the sellers bringing an action to quiet title, or the district possibly bringing a condemnation action to obtain clear title to Parcel E. The sellers decided that they would prefer that the district assist them by initiating an action and requested in writing that the school district bring a condemnation action to cure the title to Parcel E. At its December 13th, 2010 board meeting, the school board voted to condemn Parcel E as requested by the sellers. The minutes clearly reflect that the motion was made at the seller's request. The motion reads as follows: approve the request of the sellers of the property and in consideration of the options before the district pursuant to the amendment to the contract to purchase the property, I move that the school district bring a condemnation action to obtain the remaining 2.67 acres known as Parcel E of the Derrick Pond Road property. However, the condemnation action for Parcel E was never filed because the sellers and the district's attorney were able to work together to get the title cleared and the property purchase complete without needing the condemnation action. This happened because the parties worked together, identified everyone that had any potential interest in Parcel E, amicably resolved the title issues to Parcel E. The fact is that the district did not unilaterally decide to condemn property as the speaker seemed to allege. Condemnation is a tool available to the government to use for specific public purposes. Sometimes it's a useful tool beneficial to both the public entity and members of the public. I have not been able to identify any time where School District 5 has filed a condemnation action to acquire property and condemnation was not actually used to obtain any of the property owned by District 5 on Derrick Pond Road. That concludes the statement. Ms. Towers, I'm going to give you this. I want you to enter it for the record and attach it to our minutes. In addition, I want for you to attach the actual minutes from our December 13th, 2010 meeting that I have a copy of, which shows the actual motion, the vote, who was present, and so forth. But I will give both of those to you. So that's the conclusion. I'll give it to you afterwards. And that brings us to our action agenda and item number 13,